very rainy here, and I'm in the greenhouse, and I wanted to share with you a couple of things that I use for prepping my seeds and organizing my seeds. But first, how do we decide what we're planting? Well, for me, I have this Clyde's garden planner, and I can leave a link below so you can get one of these, but you slide it for where the red line is on your last frost date, and that's how you decide what you're going to plant. So for me, where I am in 7B, that's my zone, is March the 30th. So right now, I should be planting onions outside, spinach, cabbage, lettuce, all of those things outside. So I did that yesterday. I did onion sets in 2 different spaces to see how one works better than the other. And then today, inside the greenhouse and on the mats, I'm going to do peppers and tomatoes. So I believe I showed you the other day my trays. So I have bigger ones for tomatoes so I don't have to up-pot those, and then smaller ones for the cherry tomatoes because they only get so big. And that's easy to just pluck these little starts out and plant them, and everything's great. So I have this style, and then, which is the Solight, and then I have this other style that warped in the sun, because in this greenhouse I get sun and I get heat. And look at this, they just shriveled. Now I'm still going to use these for small plants, but be careful when you're reading the reviews about heat tolerance and how much light your seed starting trays can tolerate, because right before I harden them off, we can get 95 to 100 degrees in this greenhouse, and then sun striking down on them is just really hard on these plastics. So I will put a link to the Solight brand that I like, and then you should buy that one. You should just buy that one, and then you won't have to worry about warping in the sun. So now that Clyde has told me what to plant, we're going to do tomatoes and peppers. And I'll show you at the end my onion starts, because the rain washed some of the dirt off, and I'll show you that and how you can prevent that next time. So let's get started on this beautiful set here. I bought this. It's really for photos, and it has a handle, and I label them all in alphabetical order because I'm kind of, I'm that person. Gotta have it in alphabetical order. And so I have beans, begonias, blooms. I put all my blooms together. Begonias are separate because of the time that they go outside, and I tried to do them in starts last year. No good. Just direct sow them after April 15th, or in the first if you're in 8 or below, 8 to 10 zone. You can do them after April 1st. For us here, it's April 15th. And then carrots, cucumbers, greens, herbs, tomatillas, sunflowers, squash, and so on. So I have them all labeled here. And you know, it's kind of like people with handbags and shoes. I now have a seed collection I need to share. I'm going to go down to the local library and just share my seeds with some people, because I think last year I got a little crazy and I had germination in this greenhouse, and then I didn't have enough beds. I didn't have enough garden space. Are y'all seeing this? My own personal lake out here? Wild. I'm going to have to do some grading on the ground. But because they are alphabetical, let's see what peppers I have in here. I have bell peppers, a lilac bell, and I get these from in my gardener. Fantastic germination. It's this company right here, in my gardener. And I'm going to do this lilac bell pepper. And then if you're familiar with Azure Standard, I have some of theirs. I have the orange bell peppers, And honestly, they didn't go so great last year. I think it's a little bit heat and light, but also when I planted them. I don't think I was so good. So we're gonna give this a try again. The orange bell peppers from Azure Standard is the ones that I have. And then that's the bell peppers. And then jalapeno, not on a stick. Yeah, I'm that person. Early jalapeno, super hot. And the cayenne long thin. So this year with my peppers, I want to do a mock-up version of, like, what do you call that? Red hot sauce, Tabasco. You know, where you boil the peppers down, boil them, vinegar, and make a hot pepper sauce. Stay tuned for that. So 2 different kinds of peppers. And then I brought did I bring the tomatoes out here? Zucchinis, onions, celery, Brussels sprouts. I have tomatillos. Does that count? Did I totally leave the tomatoes in the house? Okay, well, we'll have to do a recap of that a little later about which tomatoes I planted. So, give me a little bit to get going, and I'll be right back. I built this bed before the rain came, and I thought, oh great, it'll get washed in and settled down. So I put cardboard on the bottom, then the sticks, then the leaves, then the poops, and then the soil. And I just lightly pushed the onions down in there and covered them up. Well, the only problem is it has settled down into the sticks and the onions have risen to the top. So I'm going to put this one back in the pile, cover it up with fresh soil, and then when it dries out a little bit more, I'll water it. But it's already starting to do its business. So that's a good sign. And there's one back there that's going. So I did red onion bulbs in this one, and red ones, yellow ones, and then there's my round bed that I put a 4x2 together incorrectly, so now I have a round one for just extra stuff. So that is how I did my onions this year. And let's see if the pile hugelkultur, which is this style of layering the organic matter, versus a raised bed with manure, which one does better for onions. Same company sold the onion sets, so they say they're guaranteed to grow. Let's see what happens. Hi neighbors. Okay, so I'm back to talk about the tomatoes. I went back in the house, and this is a totally different day. My lake has receded, the tide has receded, and it's sunny and about 65 degrees in here. So the ones that I picked from M.I. Gardner, I was telling you about that brand, and these are heirloom seeds for the mortgage lifter. So this particular one is prolific. Like huge tomatoes, makes great sauce, makes great tomato juice. If you're just simply juicing it for the probiotics and fermentation, it's fantastic. And then the Supernova is a cross between the Roma and the Cherry. So this is the first time to grow this one. I'm going to give it a try. I'm going to have sauce and salsa coming out of my ears. This is the only red Centiflora that I bought from them because I hadn't tried it before and I'm not really sure what to expect, but it's supposed to be also prolific. I mean, if it produces that many, hallelujah. And then Aunt Ruby's German green. This is really good when you mix it with the tomatillas and you do the salsa verde, which is not authentic salsa verde, but that's how I do it. And the last one is the Engelhart cherry, which is the yellow cherry tomatoes, which are scrumptious. Great snack. So I wanted to show you guys that. A few moments ago, I showed you how I fixed the hugelkultur with the onion sets. And we'll see you soon. Bye, neighbor.